Hello everybody, this is going to be the first video of my Marvel Legends review. This one right here, we have our Iron Man. It just seems fitting as he is the one to start off the MCU. This is not the one from the first movie, this is actually the one from the Avengers. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have the Mark 1 or Tony Stark or any of those earlier Marvel Legends to start the series with, so I think it would just be best to start with the earliest one I do have, which is a Mark 7. So right off the way, it looks amazing posed up. We're gonna go ahead and bring this bad boy down and start looking at articulation and the paint apps and everything, and go over what we do like about the figure and don't like about the figure overall. Just to go ahead and show off the accessories, this Iron Man does come with 2 fisted hands and also 2 wide open hands, so you'll be able to shoot him or even make him fly. As you can see with these open hands, they do not have any kind of articulation, so there is no bending, but it does not hinder the figure at all. You can just pop it in and it looks amazing. With the closed hands, you know, they do have where you can hinge down and up, which is amazing. And then we have these 2 blast effects that does come into figure, and I think these are really cool. They have that translucent blue that makes it really, you know, pop and look like an Iron Man blast, in my opinion. We do have a few of these that come out with other Iron Man figures that I don't think are as good, so in my opinion this is one of the better Iron Man effect pieces that we do get, and we do fortunately get 2 of them with 2 open hands and 2 closed hands. If anything I was to change about the accessories with this, I would have liked to see, you know, an unmasked head of Robert Downey Jr., or even like an open masked one that we do have with some figures that come later on down the line that you're able to do a head swap with, but I would have preferred to have that with this figure, so we would be able to go ahead and show it. I'll show that head swap, you know, in a later video when I do get to that figure that does have it, just so I don't jump ahead. But when we do get there, I'll show you guys the head swap with all the Iron Man figures that I do currently have. So to go and get into it, we did bring this guy down just so we can get a better look. As you can see, this is exactly like how he was in the movie. I will put reference images up now just so you're able to see how he did look in the movie compared to the actual figure that I do have on screen. As you can see, it is very accurate to what we do see on the screen. From what I'm seeing from the phone, it looks a little, the red looks a little brighter than it does in person. It does have that very nice metallic, you know, kind of feel to it when it is not on camera and have a light shining on it. One thing I do really like about this figure is that it does have that blue underneath the eye, giving up like that light effect. I wish we could have gotten the same thing right here with the arc reactor. It does have, you know, very good design even on the bottoms of the feet, you know, something that you won't really see often, but they did take the time to go ahead and design it all so you can have it more accurate. I really do like this figure. The movie itself has a very, you know, warm place in my heart. It was one of the first Marvel movies I did see in theaters, and to see, you know, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hawkeye, Hulk, all of them on the big screen working together was a really big thing for me, especially while growing up. And you know, I always wanted Marvel Legends and all the toys that they did have, but unfortunately at the time, we and my parents and everyone, we couldn't afford them. But I'm so glad to have him now and, you know, be able to review him. To go ahead and get into the articulation, he does have some pretty good articulation for an Iron Man figure. Most Iron Man figures have very restricted you know, movement when it does come to the waist and hip area, but I'm just going ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and get started from the top and make our way down. First off, the head does look up about that, oh, I popped it off, about that far, and then oh, popped it off again. Let me put it back on. And when he does look down, he looks down about that far, so he doesn't really look up or down that much, but it doesn't really make a big worry, because even when he do want to go ahead and get it looking up, he does have that issue though. But I don't really plan on posing him in a lot of flying positions, like looking up. I do plan to have him like kind of floating with the back piece, so I think it's fine in my opinion. But I know some people might find that a big issue just because you can't get him into the classic, you know, Iron Man flying poses. I know another big issue that some people might have with this figure are his shoulder pads right here. Just because when you do lift up the arm here, it does get in the way a little bit, and there's a possibility that it can fall off, because as you can see here, it is just being held up by that little bit of plastic, and I don't want to, you know, go overdo it and it falls off. But when it does come down to the arm articulation, he does have that bicep swivel, which is really good, and he does have the double jointed elbows with the pins showing for the joints, but he does go a little bit over 90 when it does come to the, you know, bend. When it does come to his hands, he can go ahead and move them forward, but not really that much back because of this little flap that does get in the way, which like I did mention, like the majority of the time you won't really push these back, even when you want to try to get the repulsor ones. As you can see, before they have the joint pointing up, so when you do just go ahead and clip it and it's like that, it's already pointing out for you. Moving down to the chest area, you know, when you go ahead and try to, he bends forward that much when it does come to his joints in the chest, and then when you go ahead and try to bend him back, he does bend back quite a bit. You know, it's not ideal for the flying poses, but you can clearly like make it work with some, you know, angles like this. It looks amazing, like he is flying. You can, you know, lift up the leg. Going back down to his hips and waist area, he has no hip joints or hip articulation. There is very stiff, which I do not actually like. I feel like it, you know, hinders a lot of the iconic poses you would want to get an Iron Man into, you know, like him landing on the ground and, you know, doing that punched ground like he would them there. But because of the hip, you can't really get him as far as you would like to be able to do that pose. Coming down more, the hips are in these weird circular kind of motion, compared to some other ones that other Iron Man figures I do have, that I do like the hip joint a lot better. I feel like it doesn't hinder the movement as much as this one does, because as you can see with this one, it has the plastic right here and back here that does not let it kick up too far, or doesn't let it go back as far. But with an Iron Man figure, I don't really see that as much as an issue of it going up too far, too back, but I know some people might have their gripes with it. It does kick out a little bit, as you can see from standing up. When it does come to the legs area, it does have a swivel at the thigh a little bit, so even if you wanted to try to, you know, get it kicking up a little bit more, you can go ahead and do so just by turning it a little. Coming down more, we do have the double jointed knees that do allow you to get about almost to his leg, to his back of his back. You know, I think it looks amazing. Really good, you know, bend for an Iron Man figure. I know some Iron Man figures that legs won't even go more than right here, so having that is really good. And another gripe I do have is with his ankles. He is able to go ahead and put them back a lot, but hindering it is putting it forward because of this, you know, little flap right here. It does not let you go up, which I do find it hard at times, you know, when you're trying to pose him in a specific way, like him kneeling down, and you want to try to get this up more, that plastic does get in the way and doesn't let you do it. But overall, besides those minor gripes, this is an amazing figure that for any new or old collector that don't have it yet, I would really recommend, you know, picking this guy up. His paint is amazing. You know, the articulation, besides those few flaws I did mention, is amazing as well. I do really like him. I was able to get him in some really cool poses with this Iron Man. So if you haven't picked him up, I would really recommend it. I know you can get him, you know, from a lot of, you know, eBay's, Facebook Marketplace, Merchant, OfferUp, any of those places usually do have some of these guys. It might be quite a little pricey, but if you're an Iron Man fan, I would really recommend picking this guy up. For a size comparison, and just so you can see how he does look with the other Avengers, I do have my Marvel, I believe it's a Marvel Legends Hawkeye. We do have Marvel Legends Captain America, and we do have my custom Hulk figure that does have the body of Professor Hulk and then has the head of the Age of Ultron Hulk. With these figures, you can see it lines up perfectly. I believe all of them look amazing next to one another. I don't think, you know, I believe the size difference between Hawkeye and Cap is amazing, just because, you know, I believe Hawkeye as a regular man should be a little bit shorter than Captain America, in just my opinion. And I feel like Tony should be taller than Cap just because, you know, the suit and everything. And I feel like with them, they look great next to the Hulk. They scale perfectly. So I just wanted to show you guys this. You know, I am going to be doing a review on each and every one of these other figures coming out in the next week or so, about the Hawkeye, Captain America, and Hulk, just showing you guys what we do have with those figures and, you know, everything about them. But I do think this is an amazing line if you want to pick up any of these. You know, Hawkeye, I got him from eBay. I bought this one at Walmart when he was still up. I believe you can still get him at Walmart or, you know, bigbadtoystore.com. You're able to find Captain America in a few places. I know he's not really that hard to get, and I believe he is fairly cheap just because of his you know, mold of the body that he did use. With the Hulk, he's gonna be a little bit more expensive because you would actually have to buy 2 figures again to look like this. You would have to complete the builder figure of Professor Hulk, and then you would have to buy the head of the you would have to buy the figure for the Age of Ultron Hulk, which itself both go around anywhere from $60 to $70. If you want to have, you know, regular Hulk and Professor Hulk, by all means go ahead and pick up, you know, this Hulk. But for a comparison, I think they all look amazing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you think, you know, one's out of scale, or how you think the Hulk looks good, or anything like that. So overall, just to go ahead and summarize this review, I think this is an amazing figure that if you're an MCU fan or even just an Iron Man fan, you should really pick up. I think it's a 10 out of 10 figure in my opinion. Like I did mention, I'm gonna be doing more reviews within the week. If you do like videos like this and would like to see more, please leave a like and comment which figure you would like to see. I do have a few more Iron Mans, I do have Hulk, a bunch of MCU figures I do plan on getting through, and hopefully I can get around to getting into some comic book figures as well, besides Marvel, maybe some DC and even anime figures. If any of you guys are interested in that, please let me know. But that's gonna be all today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You all do take care and just have yourself a wonderful day.